Hey guys, it's Fiona and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here with a book haul. I've not really posted many videos lately, I've not really done much, just trying to get my head back to normal, so forgive me for being a little bit spacey, but 'tis the way of things. I'm not going to waffle too much here, I'm going to get straight on into the books. First up I have the Cries of the Fire Prince issue of the Zodiac Starfalls graphic novel. Starfalls. I'm a little bit behind. I think there's a more recent one come out. Maybe not. I don't know. I still haven't read this. I know it's pretty bad, but it is the way of things. I've got a few issues of things to catch up on, so hopefully I will be doing that very shortly. I have volume 4 of Dreamin' Sun. This is by the creator of the Orange series. I believe this is an older series, but it's been published in the UK for the first time, and I really enjoy it, and I have just ordered the newer one that's come out as well because I am behind. A nice segue into speaking of Orange, this is Orange Future. This is a look into one of the characters who isn't like the main focus in the original story, but is one of the friends in the group, and how he deals with everything and how everything happens after. Really interesting little insight into how everything plays out, and a really cute little addition to the series. And of course we must talk about Nisekoi volume 25. I picked this up and read it as soon as I got it. It did take a while to come through. No one could seem to get it. It seemed to basically like sell out in America and never make it to the UK on the first like go. So I eventually got it. The guys at Traveling Man ordered it in for me, and that was awesome. I was so excited I didn't even look at the 3 for 2. I've got some other stuff in a 3 for 2, but I could have bought stuff at the time, but I wasn't even thinking. I love this. I'm going to try and do a wrap up of the series if anyone's interested in that, or do a wrap up of what manga I've read this month, so let me know if that's something you're interested in. I started a new series, and that is Takane and Hana. This was recommended to me by someone in the comments of a previous video. I had put it into a video of manga and anime I'm excited about this year, but I never posted that video because I hated it. I was going to redo it and ran out of time, but this was one of the books on there. There is another one that's coming out next month that was on the list that I'm interested in, so hopefully I will pick that up as well. So I'm very much looking forward to this. I have volume 6 of Anonymous Noise. I've yet to read volume 5, but I will probably read these back to back. I may even marathon what I've got so far and then read them. I quite enjoy doing that sometimes, so we'll see. I really like to read an actual novel this week though, so we'll see what I end up reading. And then I have volume 3 of Love and Lies, the annoyingly sized manga, which is so tall and I don't know why. Yeah, I've just ordered volume 4? Yes, I've just ordered volume 4 of this, so I'm excited to read that. Again, we'll probably wait till I get the next volume now because it's going to come in like a week, and then read 1 and 2 and then read 3 and 4, but we'll see. So that's it for manga. I'm now going to move on to some trades I did. So I used the hashtag Arcs for Trade and hashtag Books for Trade on Twitter for the first time, and traded some of my unwanted arcs and getting rid of some stuff because I had to lose a bookcase recently. So I traded for a few things and it's very exciting. First up I have the American hardback of The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This was down a rabbit hole that I never intended to go, and I bought her print that she did for the box cover for the American hardbacks because there isn't a box, and I said to myself I wouldn't get the books, but I've ended up trading for the first one, but I'm probably going to leave it just as the first one because I have enough copies of Maggie's books. So many copies of her books. I have a proof of The Raven Boys, I have paperback of The Raven Boys, I have 2 sets of paperbacks just for the Shiver trilogy, and I have a hardback box set somewhere too. So I need to stop with Maggie books. Like, I love her a bit too much. I then traded for Witchborn by Nicholas Bowling, and this is a proof which has a little like mock jacket I guess, which is kind of cute. So I traded for this because I've been interested in this. I heard a few good reviews and then it kind of disappeared, so I thought it would be interesting to trade for and give it a try and see what I think. I then traded for Artemis by Andy Weir. This is one I've been interested in. I've heard mixed things about it, so I was umming and ahhing about buying it, and then someone wanted to trade and it was one of the books they had, so I was like, if that's Andy Weir's Artemis, I'll have that. And it was, so here we are. And then the last trade, well technically the first trade I did, but the last trade I'm showing you is Meet Cute by a whole host of authors. This is a short story collection about meetings between people, mostly romantic starting. I've heard, again, mixed things about this. I think the idea, from what everyone says, is really good, but the execution is a bit weird because it feels like it's leaving off a bit early. I don't know, but I thought it sounds really interesting, and there are a few names down here that I like, so I thought I would give it a go. Of course, I have the 2 books from the Teensgate event, which if you haven't seen, I will leave the link in the iCard somewhere. I can never remember which side it's on, to my little video about the day for that, which when this video goes up, it'll be the Sunday after we have the next one, so hopefully there'll be another video soon about that. These are the 2 books that Penguin Platform sent to us. The first is The Truth and Lies of Ella Black, which I have not got to yet, but I plan to very, very soon. And Love, Simon, aka Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. Now, I did actually reread this book this month. I originally read this book like quite a few years ago, back in like 2015 or whenever it came out, but it was really nice to reread it and I really enjoyed it, and hopefully I will get to Ella Black very shortly. Kimmy also gave me a book this month. She gave me I Am Thunder by Muhammad Khan because she received like 3 copies at one point. She gave one to me and she's read it and says it's fantastic, so I'm really excited about reading this, and it's not a massive book. It just sounds really interesting, so I'm very curious. I then was sent 2 books, one of which I requested before I left my job and arrived just before I left, and the other was Unsolicited, which arrived on my last day. So I have Unsolicited, The List of Real Things by Sarah Moore Fitzgerald. I have read one of her books before. I read it a fair few years ago. I think I read The Apple Tart of Hope. I thought it was okay, so I don't really remember much about it, but I haven't read anything since, so we'll see how I get on with this. You could probably see I had another book tucked under my arm here. This is the one I requested. This is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I've never read a Neil Shusterman book before. But everyone has been raving about this book and it sounds so cool. The concept sounds amazing. So I'm very excited to see what happens with this, and hopefully it is as good as... Excuse me, I just spat on myself, rude. Hopefully it is as good as everyone has been saying it is. And lastly, I bought a bunch of books on my last day as a bookseller, which was the 26th of January. I did record my last book haul a few days before I left my job. All I really bought this month were some of the mangas since I've left, and then the rest of them before I left. So I've been cutting down on the amount of books that I'm buying. I'm just buying mostly manga. I have ordered a book and I am waiting for Obsidio, but those are probably going to be my main 2 for March. Trying to order less now that I am reading again. That makes sense. That makes any sense? I don't know. Anyway, so I bought A Promise of Fire by Amanda Bouchette. I don't know how to pronounce that. I've seen this around for a little while and it's very much like a fantasy romance, which is kind of more my jam in fantasy than like political. So I've seen a lot of people mention like liking Maria V. Snyder, maybe you'll like this. So I'm kind of gone down that route and I want to get back into fantasy and thought this was a good way to go. Slightly different but still in the fantasy category, I bought The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book and I managed to pick this up pretty dang cheap. Very cheap. Very, very cheap. So I'm very excited to give this a try. Again, getting back into my fantasy, sci-fi. Hopefully I'll be reading more of that kind of stuff alongside my YA this year. That's what I would really like, so I'm very excited to get to this. On recommendation from one of my ex-co-workers when I was still a bookseller, he recommended reading Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. He was reading it at the time and said it was really good and I've been eyeing it up for a while, so I picked it up before I left. I haven't got to it yet, but again, adding to my sci-fi pile of things that I will get to soon. If only Obsidio would arrive sooner and then I can read all the sci-fi things, because I feel like if I read a sci-fi book now, I'm just gonna die. I need to read Obsidio. Another sci-fi book I kept seeing knocking around was The Stars Are Legion by Cameron Hurley. This is a Hugo Award-winning author book. I don't know, doesn't say. I've just generally good things about it, and I found it on a list somewhere when I was looking at sci-fi books and fantasy books, especially written by women originally and then sort of like cascaded out through interesting things. I'm very interested to see what this is about, and it just sounds really interesting. I also decided to pick up Morning Star by Pierce Brown, the final book in the Red Rising trilogy. I own book 1 and 2 and I have not read them yet, and I promised Katie I would read them in February and I have failed, but I will read them in March. She will kill me. She will kill me. I will read them. So I was like, I might as well pick up the 3rd book and then I have all 3 and I can marathon them, so I think this is going to be my main books in March. And lastly, I bought Unearthed by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I really like their books. I have all 3 of these Broken Stars series, but I have only read the first one, so I will probably go back and reread that and read those and then get to this, because they're all sci-fi books, but those are more like sci-fi opera. These are more like adventure sci-fi, so we'll see what the difference is like at some point, and hopefully I will talk about it very soon. It's such a nice book. Not very exciting underneath though. And that's it. That's my books for this month. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to hopefully try and branch out a bit more over the next month or so about doing the odd video that isn't about books. I've been having a look into a few things that I'm interested in, and I have also some book crafty things I want to do as well for the channel, so hopefully I will get to that really soon. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video today, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye!